All right, so we just pulled up we just came up the hill on County Road 214. Kind of a steep, windy hill, and we're here at the top. The road curves to the left, and we'll be getting really close to the property. We're within a few hundred feet of the property. It will be on the right side of the road. And it was supposed to be sunny today, which is why I came out here to take this video, and it turns out it couldn't be more cloudy. So I waited for a little while in the truck, hoping the sun would peek through, and no luck, so we get a cloudy video today. Oops. And while I was just talking away, we passed the start of the property. Back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so you can see a ribbon in the fence line on the right. That's going to be about the corner of the property there. So you can see the direct county road frontage here on the right. There's this nice line of cedar trees along the fence line, and then there's a small open pasture back there before it goes into more trees. So we'll pull up a little bit. The guys have cut in a small approach for us. In a truck, it's no problem. In a car, be a bit of a problem probably, especially if it was a car you cared about. So we're still looking at the road frontage, and you'll see in a minute how it opens up into a field when we pull in there. There's the approach, kind of a rough approach. If we continue down a couple hundred more feet, there's a small house or farm down there, and that's the closest neighbor. We'll go ahead and pull in here because there's a car behind us. So this is we're on the property. You can see the other line of cedars there, and then the hay bales behind it. So that's looking onto the neighbor's property. Nice open field. I'll spin around and we'll get a better look at this. And this field has not been mowed for years. The guys are going to get out here and mow this, and a little open meadow like this is going to clean up really nicely. They'll leave the bigger cedar trees and they'll mow the rest of the stuff, and this will look really good, like a nice green yard almost. And I'll walk back into those trees in a moment. Let's take a look at some of the meadow. See, it's interesting because we're fairly close to the county road, but that thick wall of cedars gives it a nice private feel back here. I can see cedars, I can see pine trees, a few hardwood trees, but this looks like mostly cedars and pines. I think I'll pull up here and park. Go have a look at the rest of the property. There. It's the first time I've ever dropped my phone. Good thing I had a case on it, I guess. It was a soft landing anyway. Okay. So we're still on the property. We're looking back toward the, I guess it would be the west. Really pretty. Super low traffic road. You'll see a couple cars an hour out here maybe. Neighbors coming and going to work. And let's walk back on into the trees and see how it looks. As you can see already, it's basically level up here by the road. Once we get back into the trees a little bit, it'll slope down, and then it gets pretty steep. as it slopes down toward Bryant Creek in the back. Now this is a natural cedar glade. And these are pretty interesting because these are healthy, live, thriving trees. But sometimes when you get back in the cedar glade, because they don't have a lot of greenery on the lower branches, it doesn't look like the vibrant forest area that it is. Oh, that's a huge cedar tree right there. Big cedar. There are a ton of mature cedar trees on this property. These aren't going to photograph very well, but these are healthy, thriving cedar trees. Oh, we've got some pine here too. All right. Oh, that's a monster cedar. There are just dozens and dozens of big mature cedar trees. Oh, what a nice pine tree. Several nice pine trees. Okay. And this section just has a very gentle slope to it. I'm walking on all these soft pine needles. Now, the neighbors told me that I guess this last fall, a brush fire came through here, came through this whole area, and you can see kind of some of the charred evidence of that. It didn't hurt these mature trees. It cleared out the smaller trees and brush. I didn't know about these big pines. Look at that. How many big pines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Close to 20 that I can see from where I'm standing. That's awesome. We're talking cabin-sized pine trees. Oh, that's great. Very nice surprise on this property. I thought this would be mostly cedar back here, but it's loaded with big pines. Wow, there's more down there. Yeah, there are pines all over. Oh, there's a monstrous one. I've got to go check this out. I might have to measure this big boy. It's like a prehistoric looking tree. It's so big. Oh my gosh. Let's just do a rough measurement here. It's about 30 inches across at breast height. That's a big pine tree. It's a very big pine tree. Holy cow. And big cedars. Really awesome. And it's got this interesting look with that brush fire that came through. There just really isn't any little brush or shrubbery to speak of. It's this open area. In the spring, of course, all of this will green up. There's another huge pine. But this could be a pretty place to build and have that view down toward the river valley, toward the Bryant Creek. So many mature cedars. Cedar and pine. Another good time to mention, as I do in most all my videos, that once the property is paid for in full, you can harvest the trees, you can cut the trees, you can certainly leave them as they are. But before it's been paid for in full, you can't cut or sell or disturb the mature timber other than for building sites and trails, which we can give you written permission for. There's a lot of timber value. Cedar can be used for a lot of specialty things, and there's just a ton of cedar on here. See, I know in the videos, these trees I'm looking at are gonna look horrible, like they've been dead for 20 years. But these are healthy live cedar trees. See the greenery up there? And these are big cedar trees. I'm gonna head down now and see if I can get a glimpse of the Bryant Creek. Stopping only to admire these enormous cedar trees. We had to buy some cedar for a project a couple years ago. I don't remember what it was. Cedar 1x4s and 1x2s. They were ridiculously expensive. Another big pine. Really pretty and peaceful back here. And now we're getting to the area where it starts to get steep, and it gets steep quickly. Up there, there's still more flat or gently sloping area, but we're going to walk toward the steepness. See what we can see here. And now it turns into hardwood. Now the soil's obviously changed, and you can see the big oak trees. If you start to look down there, there's Bryant Creek at the bottom. And I can actually see the water in the bottom field across. You can hear the creek. I don't know if it'll pick it up on the video, but you can hear it off in the distance. Some cool rock outcroppings down there. So yeah, we've gone from the cedar and pine into the hardwoods, and it looks like they stay, those hardwoods go all the way down to the creek. Really pretty, unique property.